I would have loved if it had to be DG that is answering this inquiry, because he issued a statement. We are here to support him in his work and succeed. And we thank God for how far he has helped us as an organization. Yes, the issue of suspension is based on procedures. You know, as an oversight agency over the industry, we work based on facts. So there was a team, like the Flight Standard Group, out of which teams are raised to audit an airline to carry out what we call safety and economic audit. Safety primarily has to do with the issue of the health of the plane, the personnel that worked on it, and every other thing that could guarantee safety in the air. Then the second one is economic audit again, which has to do with the financial health of an organization. And of course, when an organization begins to become insolvent, then of course, invariably, it may have a negative impact on the other aspect, which is the safety. And of course, that cannot be compromised. So the team went into action, carried out investigation, and submitted their report. And it was their report that was reviewed, based on which the Director General took a decision as announced by him yesterday.
Okay. Now, before inviting your team to carry out the audit, were there indications that this particular airline do no longer have the wherewithal to be able to embark on flight operations in a safe manner?
Well, that is what we call an ongoing process. Auditing airline is an ongoing process. Now, even the economic audit is also an ongoing. It can never come to an end. But let me just clear an area to the best of my ability. Once an airline is in operation and an airplane took off from one originating point heading towards the destination point, if an issue happen, technical or otherwise, they have what is called tech log on board, which the flight crew is expected to log them in. And that is what an inspector from NCAA will ask for when they board an airplane at the airport, at the tarmac. And before any other question. Now, when an incident happens, the one we popularly call air return, but we call it a precautionary safety flight, but popularly called air return. When it happens, a flight crew is mandatorily required to file the occurrence with NCAA, either by telephone first and later back it up with a documentary evidence or write-up to inform NCAA of what has happened. And these are the report that NCAA will analyze. It's a non-punitive reporting system. You don't penalize anybody for filing that report. And those occurrences will be analyzed from time to time. And of course, outcome of it will determine what NCAA will do. We act based on fact, which when tabled even before the affected operator, you will be convinced that the decision that was arrived at is a judicious and justifiable decision in the interest of safety.
Okay, are you saying that there have been series of these mandatory occurrence reports in the log that prompted your team of safety inspectors to actually expedite action on the audit of this airline?
I'm telling you clearly here that all airlines are under watch.
Yes.
I'm not single out a particular airline.
Okay.
All airlines, that is why this organization is known as a oversight agency.
Okay.
Or let me establish the case. All the airlines are under watch. Whatever occurrences that are happening is being analyzed from time to time. You may have an incident this week, and when looking at that report, you may have cause to refer to the one that happened 5 months earlier, because it may have similarities. I hope you are getting it. It doesn't necessarily have to be based on the decision of just what happened yesterday or what happened last week. Okay. But when you have a report in your hands and you are analyzing it, You want to know, do we have this kind of incident before with this plane, with this airline? And you look at your record, and if you are now having a kind of maybe a trend with a particular brand. Remember, we granted one airline some time ago by this same authority based on a trend or particular model of aircraft, and it was only those models that were granted. So this is not the first time we suspended an operation. It has only happened from time to time when there is a fact, established fact, that require let this person rest his operation, let's look at things again, let them correct whatever we have seen, so that we won't have accident on our hands. Honestly speaking, it would have been, I would have loved his DG you are talking to give you the full details. But however, from my point of operation, limit and responsibility, I will tell you that I would not want to go into detail. Let me tell you the reason. This airline or any airline that will sanction at one time or the other, the sanction is not punitive. It's not meant to kill that airline. It's meant to let the airline rest your operation. Let's look at your system again and take some corrective actions and come back to service after we are satisfied with what corrective action you have taken based on our observations. All things are based on fact, and after correcting those things, same airline is expected to return to the sky. So if you begin to come up with all the details of what you have seen or what you have not seen, we may all join hands together to contribute to that airline not surviving again. Okay. And that is not the intention of the CAA. The intention is to regulate everybody, to also be successful, support them where necessary, and let them be. This is an investment, huge, and this investment in Nigeria, and it is Nigeria that are working there. How we are getting it?
Yes.
Not that I'm shying away from saying, not that I didn't have the facts. No. We may end up over sensitizing the public, and this is a machine that goes in the air, where people are suspended in the sky, where naturally people have phobia, and so the more you go into unnecessary details, you contribute in over-sensitizing them and causing people to are afraid even to fly on even the one that are operating.
Okay, we want an explanation to what economic audit and financial audit, what it entails.
Well, economic audit, maybe just semantics. If we say economic audit, I'm still talking of finance. It's broader. Now, you are looking at the system whereby somebody is not paying salary. Then you want to look into that organization. If you cannot pay salary, can you service your plane? If you cannot pay salary, a man that didn't have salary, we have a proper frame of mind to operate a machine? Because it's not one decision that leads to incident or accident. That is why you always see that the accident investigator is looking for contributing factors. A decision in the office can lead to a crash on the field. If somebody is not earning salary and he have a hospital bill of his wife to pick, and he has to go and fly a plane, that could make his mind not to be there. So it's an issue to look into. And turn is not that once we cannot pay salary, we are going to close because we didn't pay salary. No, you're only going to help us to now know we have to look at this person more than ever before, and we have to look into it carefully. You don't go to sleep with this operator again. That is what is. If somebody cannot even fix his vehicles, and we begin to see an airline vehicle going and it's started and it's not working and it's smoking, if an airline cannot maintain his car vehicle, move the flight crew with, then give us an indication that we should look better or look more. What's going on? Why can you not fix a car? If you can't fix a car, definitely you may not be able to fix a plane. You may begin not to avoid logging what you should log. You may begin to hide things. That is an indication. It's not only here, it's not peculiar to Nigeria.
Okay, now let's look at the implication of this withdrawal. I know to get an ATL, that is air transport license, an air operator certificate,
yes,
it takes, for a new airline, it takes months, sometimes years. With this withdrawal,
yes,
what are you now telling us? That if the airline decides to come back, yes, it has to go through the whole hog, yes, all over again. Is that the implication?
Once where it's suspension, right? It's not revocation, right? Because this thing has different implications and meanings. AOC can be withdrawn, AOC can be suspended, AOC can be revoked. And if it's revoked, it means you've never existed. Now, it's not revoked yet, it's suspended. One. Now, there are other issues that And I've read the organization pledging to work with NCAA, meaning that of course they are ready, they abide by the decision, they are not contesting. Don't forget that airlines have the right to appeal NCAA decision if they choose to. Not that they cannot. But if you choose to, I will abide, it means you accepted the situation, you abide by it, then let's work together in solving the identified problems. And so as soon as of course we have an airline that will suspend and return to operation in Nigeria as we speak. And I remember the other day, BA operated to Lagos and the plane had an engine problem, he couldn't go. And I've explained over and over, it's an airline of a sovereign state. You don't say you grant it, but you can't allow it to take off. It's for us to call the CA of the home country. Your plane of so and so is here, this is the problem, what do we do? That is what they will do to us too. Then they say, go ahead, take over, we'll do it for them as if they are the one doing it.
Okay.
But it's granted impliedly.
Okay.
If I want to get there and it has an issue, the same thing will be done. That is how we operate, and it's a universal thing. Okay. But however, having said that, that airline will work at what it's not as if it's revoked. So it's not a question of working on a new, it's put on hold in abeyance. It can still pick it up and work. It just takes a letter to restore whatever that has been suspended once there is a fulfillment and satisfaction with all they have to do.
Okay. On this development, what would you tell the flying public, the Nigerian flying public?
Whatever decision that has been taken is taking in the interest of safety and the interest of everybody. Though it may be painful, it's a very hard decision to take, and it's very painful, but it has to be taken. I want to give kudos to DG for taking that decision in the interest of safety and the rest of everybody.